Again, I'm just going to show you guys what a timesheet looks like. So as you can see, you have time remaining and you have questions you should be on, right? So at 3:30 you should be on question 0, 3:21 you should be on question 5, 3:12 you should be on question 10. The idea is to let you know what questions you should be on at a particular time, right? Such that once it is time up, you are done with all your questions. Guys, I hope you're having a fantastic day like I am. My name is Mo. I'm a lawyer licensed to practice law in the province of Ontario and also in Nigeria. I answer questions relating to helping internationally trained lawyers get licensed to practice law in Canada. I create content for graduate students and also for people who are looking to settle down in Canada. Please note that whatever I say in this video is not legal advice. Thank you for always watching. If you haven't subscribed, please click on the red subscription button below. Also like, comment, share, and do all that good stuff. Let us get right into the question of the day. Hello MOYO, aside from time management, what other tips will come in handy for the bar exam? This question was asked by my namesake Mo. She runs the page Niger Lawyers in Canada on Instagram. If you're not following her, kindly follow her on Instagram. She has amazing resources for internationally trained lawyers. Please note that these tips are from my personal experience. I did a video about how I failed the Ontario bar exam twice. You guys have probably heard this saying before, that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So I'll just be sharing the tips that I did the second time that helped me pass the bar exam. Right into the first tip I have for you. The first tip is that you shouldn't write both the barrister and the solicitor exam together. If you're an internationally trained lawyer, the possibility that you'll be writing these exams together while you're articling or working is very high, right? And there's a lot of pressure when you are working, especially when you're articling and when you're taking these two exams together. So it's a lot of pressure. You want to do yourself a whole lot of good by just separating the exam. Another reason is because subconsciously you're going to pay attention to the area of law that you like best. So when I wrote the two exams together, I practiced civil litigation, I like litigation, so subconsciously I paid more attention to the barrister module and I did not really pay attention to the solicitor module. So if you like one area of law more, you will find that you are paying more attention to that area of law. So in order not to be biased towards a particular module, I would say pick one exam, focus on that exam, pass it. Pick the next exam, focus on that exam, and pass it. There is a more strategic way to study for the exam. Tip number 2, do a lot of practice questions. I did an interview with Joy where she spoke about how she got an exemption from articling. I'll put the link to that video in the description box. And she said she did about 10,000 past questions. When I first wrote the exam, I didn't do that many past questions, honestly. I think I barely did like about 100 or so. But the next time I wrote it, I changed my strategy. I also did close to 10,000 past questions. No jokes. There are bodies out there that sell these past questions. Now, you should note that these past questions are not from the Law Society. They are individuals or bodies that come together and formulate the sample questions. But honestly, if you can lay your hands on some of these past questions, I would advise that you do as many as you can. And some of the benefits of doing past questions is that it helps you with time management, right? If you're doing 10,000 past questions or 1,000 past questions, you'll be able to manage your time properly. You'll be able to answer the questions faster. You'll be able to master your indices very well. Now, I'm just going to speak a little bit about indices. I also got a question asking me about indices. Should you make your own indices? Where should you purchase your indices from? I would advise you not to make your own indices because it's just a waste of time. In my case, I joined a group of individuals at U of T. They came together to make their indices and I just joined them, and I was able to get the indices from that group. People buy indices as well. People, there are bodies again that come together and they sell indices, but please don't waste your time making your own indices. You get the materials 6 weeks before the exam. You want to start getting familiarized with the materials once you get them instead of wasting your time making your own indices. You should also know that indices are not provided by the Law Society. The Law Society will only provide you with the materials. So I'm just going to try to show you guys what an index looks like. So on this part of the sheet, you would see all the topics listed. So this is the index for wills and estates. You will see all the topics listed. So the idea is for you to find a particular question, look for the topic. You also see the page number here as well. So once you find the topic, you know that okay, they're talking to you about making a will. You look for the page number. It's here, right? You look for the page number, and then it's going to tell you whether it is on the left side of your material or on the right side of your material. So you can see this number 400 and something. It says left, right. So that means the information you're looking for is on the left and the right side of your material. You can also see this part of the index that shows you the number as well, the number of the subtopic as well. So the idea of an index to help you find your answers very quickly. So for example, if you get a question asking about how to make a will, literally go to your index and look for wills. Once you find wills, you look for the page number. It tells you the page number. It tells you whether it's on the left or the right side of your material, and it tells you the number for the subheading, right? So that way you can quickly find your answer. Remember that the bar exam is not a true test of knowledge. It is how fast you can find the answers. So your index is supposed to help you find the answers very quickly. Third tip I have for you is to take professional responsibility very, very seriously. Now listen, you can pass all the courses, but if you fail professional responsibility, you're going to have to repeat, that module of the exam. Now, the interesting part of this is that professional responsibility is not a course on its own. This course is weaved into every aspect. So you need to be able to identify a professional responsibility question when you see one and answer it, right? And I guess the reason for doing this is because the Law Society expects you to be able to identify a professional responsibility problem in real life. So I remember when I first got my report for the barrister exam, I did pretty well in all the other courses, but my professional responsibility score was really low. I think I had maybe about 39% or something. So if you pass or do astonishingly well in all the other courses, but you don't pass professional responsibility, unfortunately you are going to have to rewrite the exam. The fourth tip is to use a timesheet, use charts, and like I said, use indices for the exam. Again, you can always lay your hands on some of these charts. People sell them. You can reach out to people who have written the exams before to share some of their charts or their sample questions with you. But these charts just break timelines down, and they break some of this information down so that maybe when they're asking you what is the limitation period for rape, or what is the limitation period for a civil case, you quickly go to the chart, you look for it, limitation period civil, you see 2 years, you write it down. So these charts play a huge role in helping you find the answers quicker. The essence of a timesheet is very important. Never ever go into the exam hall, to write your Ontario bar exam without having a timesheet. The essence of a timesheet is to tell you what question you should be answering at a particular time. Again, I'm just going to show you guys what a timesheet looks like. So as you can see, you have time remaining and you have questions you should be on, right? So at 3:30 you should be on question 0, 3:21 you should be on question 5, 3:12 you should be on question 10. The idea is to let you know what questions you should be on at a particular time, right? Such that once it is time up, you are done with all your questions. The essence of a timesheet is to help you manage your time properly while you're writing the exam. Now, the fifth tip I will share, and this really changed the game for me, is I bought some videos from Edmond Prep, and they also create sample by exam questions as well. And what they did was they got professors or people who actually practice these areas of law to come and teach the course content. I found it very helpful. So they have for every course. It doesn't really cover all the course content in the material, but it covers majority of the course content. And before I continue talking about this, it cost myself and my friend $2,000 to buy it. So we split the cost and I paid about $1,000 for the course. Now, while this is very pricey, it really changed the game for me. Another tip that I used that worked for me was that I color coded my materials. So what does this mean? This means using a different color of highlights to highlight key information in your material. So for example, I use the color blue to highlight all the case law in my materials. I use the color green to highlight all the sections in my materials or bylaws in my materials. I use the color maybe orange or purple to highlight all the facts in my materials, just highlighting all the key information in different colors so that your brain will quickly find the information. So for example, let's say they ask you a question about a particular case, you use your indices to look for the answer. You go there, you're looking for the answer, and then because it's a case law, it's highlighted in blue, so your eyes looking for anything in blue, right? Your eyes literally ignoring all the things in purple, orange. You're just looking for blue, and you're just going to find blue almost immediately, right? I did that, and that worked for me. And the next tip I have is for the day of the exam and the day before the exam. Please make sure you sleep, make sure you get enough rest. I remember the first time I wrote this exam, I didn't get enough rest. I was very cranky towards the exam. I was very restless. I was just jumping about. I couldn't focus. You want to make sure you sleep very well so that the next day you are well relaxed, you're refreshed, and you're ready to write the exam. To make sure you get to the exam hall pretty early, let's say 7:30, 7:45, because at 8:30 they expect everybody to be seated, right? You want to make sure you're not stressed. You also want to make sure that you bring snacks that will help you mentally to the exam hall. Usually the Law Society has a list of rules for you, which is available on their website, so you can also read it, but they ask you not to bring smelly food into the exam hall, like fish. Obviously fish smells, or food that when you chew you're going to end up chewing them loudly, something like carrots, or I really don't know what other food you chew loudly, but carrots, fish. Please don't bring that into the exam hall. I was allowed to, I think I took in almond nuts, I took in chocolate. You can take in water, you can take in soda, or whatever sort of drink you have. And I also took in my lip balm. I like to keep my lips very moisturized every single day, all day. My friends know this. So I took in my lip balm. I also took in my earplugs to just block out all the noise, because you want to make sure you're focused and you're concentrating. So I took in my cute orange earplugs. You also be allowed to take in your Kleenex, but know that whatever you take into the exam hall does not come out. So all your materials, you're going to leave them there. Your bag, the bag you use in taking in the materials, you're going to leave them there. The pencils, the pen, the eraser, nothing goes out with you, except for obviously your food, your water bottle. But anything paper-like, your Kleenex as well, they will make sure it doesn't go out of the exam hall. And I think the last thing I would just say is, while you are going through the exam, even if you don't know the answer or you're not sure of the answer, just take a guess and just shade something, because you think you have time, you think you're going to have the time to come back and cross-check your answers, but most often than not, you really don't have time. So I would say just take a guess, go with your gut, go with your instincts, and just shade something. And if you have the time, you can always come back to cross-check. But if you don't have the time, at least you know that you left that place shaded, and what if you guessed right. So don't always leave your answers empty.
CA Starter Pack is now available for download for only 10 USD. Kindly click on the link below to download your copy. This ebook is for you if you are thinking of becoming licensed to practice law in Canada, or you have actually started the process of becoming licensed to practice law in Canada. In this ebook, you will learn that you don't have to be a lawyer to be eligible to apply to the NTA. You will learn the different pathways to writing the NTA exams. You will learn about immigration and requalification. You will also learn about Canadian universities that offer scholarships for LLM programs. You will learn what to include in your NTA resume so that you can be assessed with the right number of courses. You will learn how to reduce the number of NTA exams you can be assessed with, and you will also learn what to do if you get a 1-year postgraduate work permit after your graduate program, and if you can also complete the licensing process in 1 year while you have a 1-year postgraduate work permit, and so many more. This ebook is packed with information, so make sure you click on the link below to download your copy.
I hope you guys learned something from my video. Thank you for always watching. If you haven't subscribed, please click on the red subscription button below. Also like, comment, share, and do all that good stuff. And Also like, comment, share, and do all that good stuff. Thank you guys for always watching, and see you in the next episode of Ask Mo. Bye.